Japanese prosecutors searched Carlos Ghosn's home in Tokyo for clues on his escape to Beirut. Lebanese media say the former Nissan Renault boss entered the country with a French passport. That document was supposed to be in the possession of his lawyer. But even the attorney says he was caught by surprise.
Personally, I don't even know yet how to make contact with him.
Ghosn escaped more than a year after he was arrested on charges of understating his income by $80 million and misusing company assets. Ghosn has denied any wrongdoing. He says he was the target of a plot by Nissan executives who feared he was orchestrating a full merger with Renault. French authorities have condemned Ghosn's escape, but they say he'll have their protection.
If Mr. Ghosn comes to France, we would not extradite him because France never extradites its citizens.
That should come as a relief to Ghosn. He's now out of reach of Japanese courts, which convict defendants 99% of the time.
His physical presence in Japan and his ability to attend his own trial are conditions of the trial, and so they're going to probably either just keep it in perpetual suspension. They won't dismiss it, it'll just be in suspension pending his return to Japan.
Ghosn says he plans to speak to the media starting next week in a bid to clear his name and restore his legacy. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
For more on this, Jim Holder, the editorial director at Autocar, joins us from London. Jim, this is another twist in a long-running saga. Has there been any reaction from Nissan about Ghosn's escape?
No, Nissan itself has stayed relatively quiet about what is turning into quite an amazing story, really, and a story that's probably worthy of being made into a film at some point. But Nissan itself has other problems, really, to deal with. It's facing a huge drop in its operating profits, tiny operating margins down to about 0.1% at the last look during last year. So Nissan is facing into its own troubles and has so far stayed pretty quiet about this latest twist in the Ghosn saga.
This again drags the brand Nissan back through the mud. How damaging is that going to be for the company, and how is the company sort of looking ahead into 2020?
Yeah, it's certainly in a precarious position. I think really this whole Carlos Ghosn case has just highlighted the tip of the iceberg as far as Nissan is concerned. It has brought to light various operating problems that the company has, and the way it has been operating and working really are being shown in a very poor light. It has an aging product lineup. It has issues that it has to deal with in terms of where it makes its cars and how it makes them profitably. It really is facing into a difficult future. Now, it has a lot of new products coming down the line that should help raise its prospects for the year ahead and into the years ahead. But it really is looking at the moment like a giant that has slipped, if not fallen, and that really needs to sort out its own problems internally rather than worry about what its ex-CEO is up to.
The automotive industry in general has really been struggling. What do you think the outlook is like for the sector in 2020?
Yeah, it's a very difficult sector and it's a very difficult time for the companies within it. They are facing a huge transition period, the likes of which we haven't really seen probably for 100 years. We are trying, as an industry, the industry is trying to transition to electrification. It's looking at autonomy on top of that, how connectivity feeds again into it. There are so many challenges coming towards the traditional car industry. The traditional car industry has perfected itself essentially over 100 years, but now it's looking to pivot and it's looking to change really quickly. It has rivals from outside looking in, trying to take over those dominant positions. You only have to look at the ground Tesla has made in a relatively short period of time to see the challenges from the outside. It has challenges from within. The companies have to hit massive emissions targets, and if they don't hit them, they will face huge fines. So they're facing all sorts of challenges that are costing them huge amounts of money to overcome with no certainty of what the winning strategy will be. So the car industry as a whole is under huge pressure.
Jim, and just finally, if you can maybe briefly look into your crystal ball, who do you think, or which brand do you think has the biggest potential to really make some gains in 2020?
Yeah, I think it's an irony, but I think we've all got our eyes on the VW Group, of course, the company that was at the centre of the Dieselgate scandal that really sparked this push towards a cleaner, greener age of motoring and electrification. But from that low, they really have seized the initiative. They've seized the moment, and they've pushed forward with their electrification plans, investing more money, more R&D and expertise, and launching their first significant electric car, shall we say, this year with the ID.3, and that is going to spawn a family of electric cars. You know, they're strong in China, where electric cars are expected to sell well. They have the power and the resources still, despite all the fines they face, to invest more and move more quickly than their rivals. And it's interesting, you know, this great big company that has traditionally been quite traditional and quite conservative, you know, the new leadership after the scandal has taken some big gambles. And if electrification is proved to be the way to go, they appear to have earned some leadership there already.
It's going to be interesting to see how they progress in the year ahead. Jim Holder from Autocar, thank you.